Historic District Commission applying for that award. And we appreciate that them doing that. I know Dr. Trout and myself and some other members of the committee wrote letters on behalf of that. I haven't actually seen the award itself, but and again, it's just a reflection on the cooperative effort that we had to get this building finished. We're obviously very pleased with the finished product, and hopefully by September 1st, we'll have wrapped up the final loose ends on the building project, and I personally never want to do one again.
Oh, by the way, Steve, we elected you to the secondary school system.
Yeah, that was kind of good.
Amongst other things.
Yeah, we'll fill you in later.
Amongst other things.
Any questions from Jerry on the batch? Dr. Crowe?
Not on the batch, but on the elementary building project. You have the audit.
That's correct.
Similar to the audit that was on the Hood School, but this is the audit on the little school.
Correct.
And everything is very much in order. As with the Hood School, there were a few minor issues that they would not allow, some legal costs. Remember, the little school went into the receivership because the first contractor went bankrupt. So they did take out some, I think probably around $13,000, relatively small amount. So we'll continue to receive our payments over the life of the loan. We won't be getting that lump sum reimbursement.
What is the reason for that? Because of the way it's bonded?
The way it was originally bonded.
Okay.
The state law does not let you make money on money that you borrow from the state.
Okay, so
We've gotten from the
right.
state, so we've already taken a bond out. They can't give us money any faster than
the
the
bond
bond.
is paid, okay.
And that reminds me, we don't have any news as far as reimbursement of the batch. Still status quo. Certainly, I think Dr. Trout has done everything humanly possible to make us eligible for reimbursement, and I would hope that we would find out sometime. What do you think, by the first of the year?
Well, I hope it's before then, but I mean, they're going to start the process sometime in July.
So we have our fingers crossed on that.
Okay, Mr. Durbin, secondary school building committee?
I'm going to say very little. The secondary school building committee is interested in meeting with this committee in the not too distant future. There isn't an awful lot that we're in a position to do until the MSBA has done a little bit more, made a few more decisions and made them public. So we're sort of in limbo, but we would like to meet with this committee at some point, perhaps up to maybe. It's a crowded time. But
Yeah. Okay. Questions? All right. Next, the fiscal year 08 budget development. Dr. Trevor, you want to?
We've come out of town meeting with a budget, but as we all know, that budget is dependent on a successful override that is scheduled for Tuesday, June 5th. And I want to spend it again. I think it's really important to repeat again and again what this budget is attempting to do, because the next item, item 3, is going to detail not only the staffing reductions, which I know the committee has voted on, but now the program reductions, which the committee, I'm looking for some level of an endorsement.
I was going to say, might as well just roll these
Well,
together. So.
I want to start with a positive, and I'm just, I'm so happy we're here tonight at the high school because we've had a lot of enthusiasm with students and faculty talking about not just the academic and the counseling, but looking at the whole student, and that's really what we're all about here. And I, as superintendent, when I think about how we spend the money that is allocated to this community and then the results that we have, I'm very pleased with that. And I know that it's been said again and again, but go to the Department of Revenue site, see where we stand as a community, eighth from the bottom in terms of funding. And I'm not saying that in a critical way. I'm saying that more or less to really put that into context with what we can do with that money. And however, the budget that was approved is really focused on two prime issues. One, it's attempting to deal with high class size issues which continue to impact the secondary schools. Over the last 10 years, the budget has attempted to deal with the elementary growth, and we've achieved that. We've achieved that with staffing, and we've achieved that with our facility programs. But at the secondary level, the growth continues to impact, and with the budget that was approved by town meeting, and hopefully with an override, we'll bring to the middle school alone 5 out of the 8 new teachers that are requested. 2 in grade 6, 1 in grade 7, 1 in grade 8, and 1 in foreign language. In all of those cases now, this year, we're running class sizes that are either over 30 students or well into the 28 to 29 range. Next year, we have 240 sixth graders coming into our middle school with 8 teachers. And it doesn't need to be everyday math. It shows that we're talking 30 students in a class. And so the kinds of relationships that we think are important to build between a teacher and a class will be impossible to build in class sizes that are over 30 students. So we're trying to, in this budget, deal with and address the high class size. Similarly, at the high school, we're looking for 1 additional teacher to support. Again, we could use more teachers, but we will focus that on the highest class sizes that will be determined by student course selection. And the remaining 2 teachers that this budget will support are in special education. 1 in the middle school, 1 for the elementary school. Both of these special educators will address already existing individual ed plans that without those teachers, the students will be looking at programs outside of North Reading where tuitions will far outpace the cost of actually hiring a teacher here in the district. And finally, in addition to addressing special ed in classroom sizes, the budget that's been approved at town meeting and that we hope is approved at the override in June will also purchase new texts. These texts are in Spanish, in physics, in middle school reading, and in U.S. history. In all of these cases, we're dealing with textbooks that are in 10 to 12 years old, or we have insufficient supplies, or because the state has required a shift in the case of U.S. history, that we will be not only teaching U.S. history in the upper high school grades, but we'll be teaching it in the high school as well. And so without these textbooks, teachers will be relying on either insufficient numbers of texts, which means that students will only be allowed to use current textbooks available in classrooms, or not at all. And there'll be a tremendous amount of photocopying, which is done illegally, to try to supplement basic instructional material. And I know that many people are asking a question, why? Why is it? Why can't the school department make do with what it has? And the reality has to do what I said earlier, that when you are 8th from the bottom in the state, and you're trying to deal with increasing enrollment and higher expectations, and you still want to make the high level of, retain the quality, it is impossible to do that. Which is why I've said over and over again, these are tough times or tough choices. And I understand this is a tough choice. It's a tough choice that each voter will have to make. However, when we're dealing with students, and you had examples of students tonight, some of the programs, in order to continue those kinds of programs, and that gets replicated again and again in our classrooms, we will not be able to do that. So I wanted to take the opportunity Number one, to thank the voters of the town meeting that supported overwhelmingly the budget, and then to basically lay out what this budget is trying to achieve through a necessary override. Again, there are two override questions that are being presented. One is a one-year override, and one is a multi-year override. And I'll leave the strategy around that to other groups that can talk more about that. But there is a website set up at the town site, and it will also be set up at the school site that will continue to address the needs of the school department and of the town, and about the questions that will be faced on this override bill coming up on June 5th. So that's the budget.
I'm just going to add in terms of the 1 year and the 3 year, I think it's important that everybody understand the first year of the 3 year is identical to the 1 year, and it is the budget that was voted at town meeting. And the difference is that the 3 year also reflects the planning that we committed ourselves to do as a committee, and the Board of Selectmen the same, and it projects their budgets for 2 more years beyond. It's not, in my mind, an either-or thing. One builds on the other. So I hope people will not be confused by the presence of 2 overrides.
Sure.
Has the committee taken, I don't think we've taken a position on some of the reductions in programs and the changes in scheduling.
No, we're going to get to that
Okay,
tonight.
all right.
I just wanted to add, there isn't a one-to-one correlation in per pupil spending and performance. You can bet that if we were not only 8th from the bottom in spending, but if we were 8th from the bottom in performance, we'd have a lot more people here demanding that we spend more money. I think it's a testament to this school department, what we've done with that 8th from the bottom position. And what I like to say is that if we could just rise up a little, then our performance, we can go up even more on our performance. And I think you have to look at what we've done with the money we've had and realize that it's not squandered on wasteful things. It goes to programs, it goes to teachers, it goes to supplies and texts that we need. And I think that the override it's important that everybody go out there and vote. And as Dr. Trojan said, we'll leave that to the groups that are better equipped to discuss and promote that. So, any other comments?
No, at the same time, I think we can say that gradually our grades are slipping,
Yes.
our discipline actions
Yes.
are increasing.
Test scores, MCAS.
Yeah, and our kids aren't getting the individual attention that they once did going back 3 years.
And one of the things, we saw the guidance counselors here tonight from the high school. We have, I don't know how many students, over 600 now at the high school, I believe. Over 700 at the high school, and we have 3 guidance counselors. We could probably use a 4th guidance counselor. That's another area, I know at one point we were talking about that we haven't even addressed. And it's another area that we have to look at.
I would back that if we looked at kids that graduate out of our high school 2 years down the road, that many of them have either left school or transferred to another school because they're not getting that individual time and direction, so that they leave here confident in what they want to do or aware of the choices, career choices that are available to them. We do a good job of getting them into the colleges, but that's not always good enough. You have to get them into the right school so that they're in the right job path. Okay.
The accrediting agency for high schools sets a recommended ceiling per guidance counselor of 250 students in the schools. We're right up against that limit.
And I think that when you see increase in discipline issues, when the town sees it, on half days at the library, when the town supports a youth services committee because the needs of children is recognized by the community, that those are services that to some extent are handled as long as there's a small student-to-teacher ratio and kids can get services within the school community, which are no longer available because of classroom size.
Right. So it's clear we obviously all support the budget that was approved at the town meeting. But now let's look at